10 to get in.
10.
Paul, do you know what 10 to get in means?
In bones, my brother.
Yeah, there he goes. Zach, do you know what 10 to get in means? Did y'all play dominoes in high school?
Someone brought dominoes to high school to play.
We played dominoes before school. We played dominoes at lunch. Played dominoes wherever we could play dominoes. We were playing dominoes.
This is the oldest conversation I've ever had with y'all.
Dude. Recon Podcast.
Womp, womp, womp.
What is that? I've heard that before. Womp womp. Is it womp womp?
It's the song is called W. It's spelled WOMP.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It sounds cool.
Yeah, no, I like it. That's some good stuff. Chris Sanchez, Zach Lucero, Paul Rodriguez, Recon Podcast, episode
13.
We are powered by Lawnman ATX, and we have a new sponsor, ladies and gentlemen. Paul, tell us about our new sponsor.
I just want to say thank you very much to Keith Schmidt and John Kalunga. Welcome to the Recon Athlete Team, Kreitz Market in the building.
Dude, Kreitz Market. Zach, you been there before?
No, but I need to go. It sounds lit.
Man, come on, dog.
I'm not a world traveler like Paul.
Bro, they've been around since 1900. Literally,
I haven't. I've only been around since 1994.
Well, you had some time.
Shout out me. My birthday is in 2 days.
Yeah, shout out to Zach.
Friday, October 4th.
I tried to anyways his birthday earlier. Sorry, Zach.
Friday, October 4th. Shout out to me.
And you're going to be at the Vandergrift versus Round Rock game. I'm going to be there with you to help celebrate your birthday.
I don't believe you.
I will.
Believe it when I see it.
I'll be there. And we'll talk a little bit about that game later on when we talk our high school football. Also, speaking of Lockhart and Kreitz Market, we're going to have Stoney McGuire, quarterback of the Lockhart Lions, with us a little bit later. He did an interview with P-Rod earlier, and also Sean Fresh of LBJ. So we'll talk.
We got a dude named Stoney and a dude named Fresh.
Yep.
Dang.
We're Stoney and Fresh up in here, Recon Podcast.
Dang, this is the most lit episode yet.
ReconAthlete.com. That's where you can find us. Also on Twitter and Instagram. All right, we'll start off with college football.
Stoney and Fresh. You know what my middle name is?
Hold on. Let me guess. Guillermo.
It's Steven. It's not special.
How you come with that lame Steven, bro?
Oh, man.
For real. Like, looking at your hair, you've been naming it been Jesus.
Dang. What up, Snoop? Snoop just walked in just in time for the episode. College football first, and we'll talk high school, and we'll talk NFL. We were going to talk about the NCAA tonight. What up,
Hello.
Snoop? Yeah, what up, Snoop?
I just want to say hi. Love y'all.
Damn, we just got an open mic policy.
Yeah, we do. Well, when it comes to Snoop Daniel, heck yeah, we do. He just whenever, anytime he wants to drop in.
Y'all don't know, but Snoop is mic'd up. He said that from his room. He always turns his mic on.
He's like Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah.
All right. We wanted to talk about the NCAA policy that California was passing.
SB 206.
SB 206, but Zach didn't sound like he was too excited about it.
Mute.
Then we wanted to talk about Mike Leach and him calling his players fat, dumb, and entitled, but Zach wasn't excited about that either.
He's not Mike Leach. He's the guy that coached Gardner Minshew. That's his name.
Wow.
Right.
That's the pirate, bro.
So are we muting that too?
He's the soon-to-be offensive coordinator, Mike Leach.
Think so?
Yeah.
Heck no, man. What did you eat tonight? Made you say this nonsense?
Nothing, because I can go broke buying y'all food.
Thanks for the panda, by the way. And next
that.
time, we're going to get some Kreitz Market. Paul will bring it in from Lockhart. All right, so we're not talking about any of that stuff. We'll go right into the college football games this weekend.
Right into it.
All right, top 25 matchups. Paul, do we have those?
We do. Do we want to go ahead and kick off with the Longhorns visiting West Virginia? 10.5 point favorite on the road. Number 11, mind you. And that's important because when we're done with the top 25, Texas may just have a top 10 matchup with the Sooners in the Red River rivalry.
Oh, yeah, they're going to do that for sure. I think Texas covers this spread pretty handily.
Because I think we saw from the Oklahoma State-Kansas State game that Oklahoma State's the real deal in the Big 12.
Thank you.
I mean, me and you said that. Didn't we?
Did you?
I
know
I know
did.
Chris did.
I know. Okay, Paul, you're never gonna agree with me. You never give me my credit when it's due.
Look, Skip.
But
Look, Skip.
nah. Okay. Well, anyways, I mean, we know Oklahoma State's the real deal.
Yeah.
So we know Oklahoma State's one of the better teams. So we know Texas is headed in the right direction in the Big 12. So this is one of those games in West Virginia that if Texas is as good as they say they are, they should take this game in stride.
Yeah.
This should be when Alabama plays Vanderbilt. This should be when Clemson plays Wake Forest. Like this shouldn't be any trouble. And I know West Virginia really wants this to be a rivalry game.
Yeah, they do.
West Virginia wants Texas to be their rival so bad, but Texas needs to like see past all that and just get this dub and move on to next week.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is going to be like
Staying
play the
healthy.
game. Yeah, play the game. And that's actually what I was going to mention is, play the game like you have no injuries. I mean, I know there's a lot of injuries in the defensive backfield for the Longhorns, but if they play this game like they don't and win it handily, I mean, yeah, they'll definitely be inside the top 10 easily. I think that'll just give them a whole lot of confidence going into the Red River Shootout with Oklahoma.
I don't know what the sports books are looking at. I mean, Texas is averaging nearly 42 points per game.
I want to say that line went down too.
And that's kind of where I'm going with it. West Virginia is only averaging 25 a game, and they played nobody all year. The loss that they have on the season was against Missouri. But this is my thing is like, I think the line may move in the favor of West Virginia. Like I think this may go to like 14 and a half.
So I feel like I've seen that line at like
Saturday.
11 and a half.
And I just don't know what they're looking at. Like, if they really given that much praise to West Virginia being just at home, and I mean, just because Texas was coming off.
Is it the injuries?
Well, I think it's the injuries plus you read into last year's game so much,
Okay.
and West Virginia has really kind of had Texas's number honestly either winning the game or keeping it close. And like I said, how they kind of want to make it like a rivalry type of thing with the whole like horns down and all that stuff. So I think you just look, the sportsbook are looking into too much of like the emotion behind the game, especially for West Virginia, especially with it being at home. But I don't think it should be.
Is Whittington coming back this week?
I think he is.
I think he is. And then Roshan Johnson is getting appraised by his offensive lineman, saying he'll play any position. And right now they're going to use him at running back for sure.
Well, if you're Texas, and I don't want to go too deep on this one matchup, but if you're Texas, the way Roshan Johnson has been playing, and with Daniel Young coming back, I wonder if you can, and with Kirk Johnson coming back as well, I wonder if you consider redshirting Jordan Whittington.
I would definitely consider it. You might need him at some point, but I don't.
Bug.
Yeah, I just think that I don't think they're deep enough at that position to
Because
redshirt him.
if he's back, do you want to burn one of his 4 games against West Virginia?
No.
They've already had 4 games.
Well, he hasn't played in all of them, right?
He's only played in one. He's only played in one, right?
Yeah. He definitely has to play in the game. But I don't know. As far as the line goes, I think the injuries are playing a big part of it. I know the air raid offense that Neil Brown at West Virginia wants to run over there. I mean, he runs a lot of 3 wide, runs a lot of jet sweeps. He's going to try to spread the defense out and
the
try
injuries
to
are in the secondary too. So.
Yeah. So that I think maybe they're kind of looking into the matchups. Maybe West Virginia is going to try to find a weakness in that secondary, because there's definitely going to be some weaknesses in that secondary. So if they can't, and I'm talking about Texas can't get any pressure on the quarterback, if they can't stop the ball at the line of scrimmage or within 7 yards of the line of scrimmage, then they might run into some difficulty stopping West Virginia. I think maybe that's what we're seeing as far as the line goes, and then maybe the smart money, the professionals might be putting it on West Virginia. So I think maybe that's where the line's moving, because there's no way that more West Virginia fans are putting money on them than Longhorn fans putting money on the Longhorns, which usually moves the line.
And we're going to highlight the top 25 matchups. So we're going to move on. Big game, 11 o'clock kick. Iowa at Michigan.
I like this game. I think Iowa's going to win this game big.
I'm ready for this to be the end of Harbaugh. If Iowa wins,
why do y'all hate Harbaugh so much? Didn't you say this?
I thought that
you said the same thing, Paul.
He was going to get retired last game, but of course that didn't happen. But
what's with all the Harbaugh hate?
He hasn't done anything.
Yeah, my
If-
cousin.
if
He
you're cool,
hasn't
if-
won any bowl games. He hasn't beat Ohio State.
So you think Chip Kelly
No
should stay at
conference
UCLA?
titles.
No.
What's
probably
the
not.
difference?
Not much. I don't know. Nobody's ever really liked Harbaugh. I think. Okay, yeah, you're right. There isn't a whole lot of success for you to point at. But I think Harbaugh's just. I don't know. He's got that attitude.
The keep your job campaign for Harbaugh. First step was
For who?
For Jimothy Harbaugh.
Harbaugh.
Jimothy.
Was that Boston accent coming out? I hate khakis.
Okay. First step was to put a whooping on Rutgers, which they did.
Right.
So that's moving in the right direction. But the next step is to beat Iowa. If you're Michigan, if you came into the season with all the expectation, you have to beat Iowa. And I honestly don't think he can do that.
Yeah, I mean it's a home game. It's 11:00 game. Not that the 11:00 game matters.
Michigan's a 3.5 point favorite.
Don't you get 3 points for being at home?
Yeah, to me that's a coin toss. Then
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty much a coin toss. Yeah, I think Iowa wins this game. I really do, because I didn't think Iowa had the firepower to put up. I think they had it was a ridiculous spread against Middle Tennessee last week. I think it was like 27 or something like that. And I was like, dude, there's no way. I was like, Iowa's just not built like that. They dropped 48.
48-3.
They put the points on Iowa State too.
So,
they're scoring this year.
Well, I mean, that was kind of a weird game. That was the 6 hour lightning game. That was a 6 hour lightning delay game. So that was 18-17. But yeah, they've put up 38, 30, and 48 other than those other points. So Iowa Hawkeyes traditionally have been, built on the run, the short passes, because they always have really good tight ends, and then the defense. So it's just a different Iowa Hawkeyes team this year. And I think they've got
defense is still there, but with a better offense.
Yeah, I think they've got a really good shot at beating Michigan.
And the game that I think that's going to push the Horns into the top 10 next week is going to be number 7 Auburn at number 10 Florida. 2:30 kick. Auburn is a 3-point favorite on the road.
I like Florida in this game.
I've been watching a lot of Auburn lately. I watched almost that whole game against A&M.
Yeah, me too.
And I just don't see it with Auburn. They look like a good team, but they don't look like a top 8 team.
Malzahn always let you down with one of them.
Yeah, this is.
It could be it.
But at the same time, this is Florida starting a guy that they didn't prepare all offseason with. So their offense, Kyle Trask has looked good, but you have to know that'll kind of catch up to him at some point. Just the familiarity they had with Felipe Franks, just to say the least. But his Auburn hasn't really showed it to me. Bo Nix is a great game manager, is what he looks like. He doesn't look like he's, going to end up as being one of these Heisman guys or anything like that. But he's smart. He takes care of the ball. But that's not what you need to win a game like this.
Yeah, I don't think that they've been super impressive. They got the win against Oregon, which was kind of weird.
Their wins are impressive.
On paper. On paper they are. When you just look at them, 27-21 win over Oregon, 28-20 win over A&M. Now, that's a little bit closer than I thought that game was actually played. I think the score doesn't really reflect.
But I think how that game was played on A&M than on Auburn.
Yeah, that's true. Opinion. That's true. And then they dropped 56 on Mississippi State last week. But yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm agreeing with you here, Zach. I think Auburn just really hasn't shown me anything to where they're definitely a top 10 team. And I think with Florida. I haven't seen enough Florida.
I haven't seen enough Florida either.
I haven't seen enough Florida either. But I think and the reason why I say Florida is just because it's at the Swamp.
Right.
Swamp's a great place to play. I've been there once. Actually, the game that I did go see at the Swamp was Auburn versus Florida. This was a very long time ago.
And it's honestly two really similar teams, like teams that have really good defenses with a quarterback that you don't know much about.
Yeah.
Bo Nix because he's a freshman, and Kyle Trask because he's the second string guy coming in.
All right.
And rounding up our coverage for the college games, Tulsa visiting number 24, SMU, led by former Longhorn Shane Buechele.
And Paul, you wanted to talk about this SMU,
did.
and I was like, I haven't seen SMU play, but I'll let you talk about it, Paul.
So SMU is just they're averaging 44 points a game, 45 nearly, and I just thought it was pretty ironic. I saw an Instagram post saying how Sam Ehlinger and Shane Buechele still keep in touch, and how Sam wanted to push Shane when he went to SMU to show them who they are, let them know, the kind of quarterback they're getting. And something that was shared on Instagram between the two was saying Sam was telling Shane, like, when are they going to build the statue of Shane Buechele at SMU? Because the Pony Express is back, and Shane Buechele is leading the way for the SMU Mustangs. At 24 in the nation, are they going to be the next Cinderella? Are they replacing UCF as that, non-Power 5 team to get in and maybe cause some disruption? Because I'm looking at their schedule, and I just don't see anybody in the American that's really going to knock them off unless they just get caught in a trap somewhere.
I mean, to say they're going to be the next UCF, you would need more than a win over unranked TCU to do that. Although, TCU might have been ranked when they lost to them, actually. But
they were 25, but
right,
close.
Yeah. You're going to need more than that to become like a UCF type school when it comes to like consider us for the college football playoff type thing. But they can end up being one of those schools like the Memphis or the Navy or whatever that stays ranked, albeit 18, 19, 20, 22 area. Probably not UCF.
So
level.
if they go undefeated, do they get a New Year's Day bowl, or are they going to get like a New Year's Eve bowl?
They won't get it. They won't get one of the major bowls because they won't have any marquee wins.
No New Year's Day bowl, just for being undefeated.
They won't have any marquee wins.
I think they have
With
to.
the conference title.
I think if they go undefeated, I don't see them going undefeated. Just I don't know.
They're not better than UCF.
I think Houston is what trips them up.
Yeah, it could be. I just don't. Yeah,
and if it does, that's an unranked Houston.
Oh, yeah.
When they play.
But still, like when you have a team like SMU, it's kind of it's American Athletic Conference. Nobody's really looking at that conference and being like, oh man, got to watch out for American Athletic. But again, it's still an undefeated season. You have to reward that. And I think, if, and I say big if, but I'm going to say when because it's a big if they go undefeated, you almost have to give them a New Year's Day bowl game against, whoever gets left out of, the big ones. So
if they go undefeated this season, does everybody forget about the death penalty that SMU incurred in the 80s?
Honestly, I feel like if you go to a high school today and talk to someone about SMU, they don't even know.
They don't even know what that is. I have no clue.
And it's not because SMU has done so much since. No. It's just because it was so long ago.
It's just been such a long time ago.
And if they know, it's only because ESPN did it 30 for 30. And they watched it on Netflix.
All right. Anything else? Any closing comments on college?
Just that my birthday's on Friday.
All right. Zach's birthday's on Friday. Recon Podcast, episode 13. Lawman ATX, Christ Market, our new sponsor. We're going to move on to high school Thursday night. Rouse and Pflugerville. We got Hayes and Aikens. Also, Del Valley and Austin High, which all of a sudden is a pretty interesting game. Both teams are 1-2. Paul, you got anything about those games?
I just kind of want to see how Austin High plays against a team that's similar caliber to them. I know what kind of player they have that Del Valley has in Caleb Burton, but Charles Wright, I think, should go ahead and shine in this game. It's going to be at House Park. So shout out to the Maroons. Let's see if they can get a W.
All right. And before we get into the Friday night games, we have a couple of interviews. Paul, which one do you want to start out with?
Let's start out with Lockhart's quarterback, Stoney McGuire. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I have Stoney McGuire, the quarterback at Lockhart High School, on the line. Stoney, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. We're excited this week. Lockhart is on a bye, but they're going to be getting ready for Bernie Champion on the 11th of October. Tell me right now, I saw that huge win y'all had last week against San Antonio Memorial. Talk to me about how y'all got to a huge lead and put up 85 points.
Yeah, so Austin Memorial coming into that game, we knew that in the past we put up a lot of points on them in the past, but we knew that we had to come into that game and just stay focused and stay relevant and stay in the game and keep our mentality the same as it would be against a Bernie champion at Kerrville Tybee. That's hard to do, but I think we did a great job of it, and the 85 points really showed that. Our defense scored. We scored on all phases of the game, and I thought it was just a great team win.
It definitely looked like that, especially from the scoreboard. I saw how high or how up y'all were at halftime, and I was just kind of thinking to myself, what is going on at Lockhart? And that's kind of taking me to my next question. Talk to me about how the culture's changed. I know you're coming in from Westlake last year, but what is different about the Lockhart team this year and the buzz surrounding the Lions?
Absolutely. I moved in. I actually went to school at Lockhart my freshman year, went to Westlake my sophomore year, and came back. And, under Coach Mavis is just, it's a 360-degree turn. Everybody's amped up, excited. We prepare for the game so much better. We just, our mentality we go into every game thinking we have a chance to win this game. We're going to do everything we can. If we play Lockhart football, we keep the fundamentals, we'll have a chance to win this game. And that's a mentality that we haven't had in the past. And I'm excited where that's going to take us.
Well, Stoney, I know we've talked a little bit offline, and I'd let you know I'm an alum, class of 2002, and my class broke the 30-year curse that Lockhart had of going into the playoffs. And my brother, actually, he was the second coming, and they went to the playoffs. And by the looks of things, Stoney, y'all are going to go to the playoffs, and y'all may go pretty deep. And so I'm excited as an alum, and I'm excited for the community at Lockhart to just get this opportunity to relive, the playoff atmosphere, because it's just wonderful. And I'm pretty sure you have experience with that, being a little bit of time at Westlake, what kind of demand the community accepts and also anticipates. And I wanted to follow up one more thing. I know y'all are 2 in district right now. Talk to me what y'all see is the biggest challenge that y'all see going into a Bernie champion. Kerrville Tivey's coming. What do y'all think is going to be the most difficult thing to overcome as y'all are in your district?
Yeah, so what we've done well so far is give us a chance to make a splash in this district, and I think we've done that so far. And going into the Bernie champion, that's obviously a game that we have to take care of and we have to win. But the biggest thing we'll see against them is keeping our mentality that, hey, this isn't the old way it's been done. This isn't the game against Bernie when we go in, we get whooped, and we come out and then we win the next game, and we learn from it. No, we need to go in. We need to learn from the win that we just had, and we need to use that and take everything that we've done wrong so far and just prepare and do our best in this bye week to get this win against Bernie champion. And I think it's really just a mentality.
And I totally agree with that, Stoney. And I just want everybody to know the name Stoney McGuire, junior quarterback at Lockhart High School. Thank you very much for your time. I'm looking forward to how y'all finish the season and how things go into next week after your bye. I wish you all the best of luck, and go Lions.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Shout out to Stoney McGuire, quarterback of the Lockhart High School Lions. Like we said, they're on a bye this week, and then they got Bernie champion with the following week. So that's a big game to start off your district play there, Paul.
Yeah, so we actually got to add a new member to the Recon athlete family. John Kalunga will be joining us and covering Lockhart here on out for the rest of the remainder of the year. So we're going to have somebody there for all the Lockhart fans and have some more content available for the community. All
right, so shout out to Kalunga, as he is known around here by his friends. Also, our other interview for today is LBJ Sean Fresh. Of course, they have their rivalry game with Northeast, formerly Reagan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On the phone, we have LBJ star Sean Fresh. How you doing tonight, sir?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm excited. I've been really excited to have one of the LBJ stars on the podcast, and I'm glad I got to begin with you. And I just want to talk a little bit about the Jaguars, and just give us your feelings about how the season's been going. Y'all been going all over Texas playing teams, and just talk about the season so far in your eyes.
I think it's been going pretty well. We're doing some great things on the field. And off the field also, we practicing hard, teams bonding pretty good, and our coaches are coaching us up. And, we going out every game, and, we're trying to play hard and, get, success out of every week. So we strive to, play fast, play hard, and, that's how we win games. So if we do that every game, that's what we're going to succeed.
And that's a big thing I see is like a bunch of speed all over the field. And I was thinking to myself, I just see highlights every single week, week in and week out with Ike on his Twitter, And so I'm kind of thinking to myself, like, do y'all compete? Do y'all talk to each other and say, I'm going to get the first TD, I'm going to get the one? Like, do y'all do that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always a competition. You know, you don't hate on one another, but you know, it's always a competition between them. You know how many touchdowns we score. You know how many yards we get. You know, and that just makes us better. So, you know, when we compete out there, we play fast, and we want to get the better, not get the better of our team. You know, it's a competition, so it's just how we play the game.
For sure. And I just kind of keep harping on that competition, and that just breeds excellence. And it's just awesome to see, you know, how y'all all compete and just bring each other up as brothers and just play as one. And it's really exciting to see, especially locally. So I'm really happy to know that and hear it from you, so I can understand what the team is like beneath the scenes, behind the locker room, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And so my last question, I just want to know, and you know, I saw some Twitter out there, and I wanted to make sure we got you some love, and I want you to tell me so that the recruiters who are listening or find the podcast, tell me what the recruiters and the universities need to know about Sean Fresh.
I mean, I'm a workaholic. You know, I work so hard. You know, on my craft, you know, my body, on my technique, and everything about the game. So I work really hard. And, you know, I'm going to give it my all every game, every practice, and that's just who I am. And I'm an athlete. You know, I can play anywhere on the field, whether it's cornerback, you know, receiver, running back, punt return, even quarterback. It even got me playing quarterback some this season. So anywhere I can play. I'm an athlete, and I'm going to work hard to, you know, get the best out of this season, out of me, and out of my teammates. So that's who I am.
Excellent. Well, I tell you what, you sure live up, you dress-wise, you sure live up to your last name, staying fresh. I see you on Instagram.
Yes,
so keep it up, sir. We look forward to the rest of LBJ season. We know y'all going to continue to dominate, so we're excited to see what y'all do in the playoffs. But just know we're watching y'all, and good luck this coming Friday against Northeast, formerly Reagan, at Nelson Field. So good luck to y'all, and y'all have a good one. I appreciate your time tonight.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks once again to Sean Fresh. LBJ and Reagan playing Friday night out at, I say Reagan, but it's really Northeast.
Yeah.
LBJ and Northeast, formerly known as Reagan, playing at Nelson Field. Also Friday night, San Antonio Christian, St. Michael's, Liberty Christian versus Hyde Park, Vista Ridge versus Leander. Vista's going to try to get back into the winning ways. Leander's still looking for their first win of the 2019 campaign. Got Conley and Cedar Park. Also Georgetown and Hutto, 11-5A Division I. Just starting off finally this Friday night. Georgetown Hutto game, I think that's a big one. If I wasn't going to the Round Rock versus Vandegrift game, I think that would be one of the games I might go to. We'll talk about that here in a minute with Mr. Zach Lucero. Bastrop Cedar Creek. That's another game that I would definitely try to go to. Paul, you want to talk about that one?
It's homecoming for Cedar Creek, a rivalry matchup at Bastrop Memorial Stadium. Get there early because the parking is going to be gone, and they have like 4 parking lots, and I know they're all going to be packed. So Bastrop, Desmond Young, quarterback for Bastrop Bears, I think is going to be the pivotal player in that game to get for the Bears to get the W. But Alfred Collins, UT commit, defensive line for Cedar Creek.
That dude's a beast.
He is a man. Listen, he is a man among boys with these players in 5A ball. And I couldn't believe it. I was watching him play compared to the opponents he was going against. I was just in pure amazement. But shout out to Cedar Creek, homecoming Friday night, 7 p.m., Bastrop Memorial Stadium. Y'all better get there.
Yeah, Brenham versus Eastview also that night. Eastview trying to stay undefeated quietly. Trying to stay undefeated. Eastview Patriots are. Glenn and Weiss also Friday night. Marble Falls, Elgin, Hendrickson, and Stony Point. I think all of a sudden that's an interesting game. Zach, do you have any comments, any takes on Hendrickson and Stony Point?
I mean, I think right now when you're looking at this district, I think Stony Point's the next best team after Vandergrift and Round Rock. And so, and the way that Hendrickson played against Vandergrift, if they can put it all together, Hendrickson can beat Stony Point and all of a sudden to get back into the conversation in this district or just in Central Texas football in general. Because I think this poor start for Hendrickson has kind of had people writing them off. I'd say because I even though I'm an alum, I've kind of been disappointed in the football this year that Hendrickson is putting onto the field. But this you're right. This is a huge game. I think it's a good matchup for Hendrickson. This style that Stony Point is going to bring, and the style that Hendrickson plays. It's really in a game that Hendrickson can kind of let their athletes shine. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think this game's going to be low scoring.
Yeah. So you watched Hendrickson play against Vandegrift. Were they more pass heavy or run heavy, or were they balanced?
They're more run heavy, but they have a mobile quarterback. So even on passing plays, you could tell he wasn't looking to throw the ball really. He was more trying to drop back and then find a lane to scramble. But that's just the athleticism that Hendrickson has. Their offensive line isn't their best, so just kind of use that pass protection to kind of suck people in and let the quarterback scramble out to the sides and get to the sideline and outrun some people. And that's in the running game. They like to run the ball. They have a big back, so they run the ball up the middle more with him and then outside with the quarterback. So, but it's Hendrickson, so they got receivers all over the place.
Oh yeah. So Hendrickson, Stony Point, Friday night. That's going to be a more interesting game than I think most people would think. So we'll see what happens there.
Is it a must win for Hendrickson for that playoff spot?
I think it is
a must.
If Hendrickson doesn't win this game, they
don't
need to be talked about.
Yeah, they'll be 1-3 if they don't win this game. So yeah, I mean, I think you have to. Another in 13-6A, McNeil and Westwood. Westwood has to win this game, to stay in the playoff contention. McNeil's at 0-2. They just need a win. Round Rock Vandegrift, game of the week. Mr. Zach Lucero is going to be there on the sidelines, and I promise you, Zach, I'm going to this game because, and I told you, told you on the messenger, I haven't seen either of these teams play this year, so I have to go to this game just so I can see the talent on both sides of the ball. What are you expecting Friday night, Zach?
Well, I'm expecting you to be at like Hutto, Georgetown, or Hendrickson Point because you're not going to come.
Am I going to get me on the sideline?
If you come, but you're not going to come.
I'm going to be there.
You're not going to come. I know you're not.
If I'm not going to go see Guns N' Roses, I'll be there at the game.
Guns N' Roses?
Yeah. Isn't they playing Friday night, ACL?
Keep it moving.
You don't even know ACL. You don't go to ACL for Guns N' Roses. Are you kidding me? Why don't you put it on your 8-track and listen in your car?
Dude.
7 p.m. kick at Monroe Stadium.
Paul's getting us. You about to make me mad, Zach. About to make me mad.
Is Vandy gonna pull that W with all that firepower that they got to go against with Round Rock? Because we know what Drew Sanders does. He makes in-game adjustments. Is he gonna have enough to offset Round Rock's talent?
The biggest thing in this game is going to be Colin Sullivan. Is going to be how does Vandegrift stop him? Last year they had 2 6'1" plus corners. They had one corner that's getting playing time at a Division I school in Reese Watson. He followed him the whole game.
I think you're right, but I think it's going to be due to Seth Ford. If the defense for Vandy pressures him and causes him difficulty getting the ball out to Sullivan, that's where I think the biggest issue is going to be for Round Rock.
From what I talked with Coach Sanders a little bit after the game last week, and what they're doing with Colin Sullivan this year is completely different than how they used him last year. Last year they had Ryan O'Keefe, and he was such a run threat that you kind of had to load the box up, and then when they needed to, they would just throw it deep to Colin Sullivan with the physical route runner that he is. But this year he's getting at least 20 touches a game, is what Coach Sanders said, and that's not down the field. They're getting him in open field. They're throwing him screens. They're throwing him little like little smoke screens, like I said, like get him into the flats, and which is way different. So it's not like the quarterback is gonna have to sit in the pocket and wait for him to get open. They're getting rid of it quick.
So that's what Round Rock's gonna do, is just get it quick.
Right. They're just gonna get him the ball however it takes. And what Coach Sanders said to me is they're gonna have to be extremely physical because they might not be the matchup physically with Colin Sullivan this year.
That just sounds too dangerous for me, because if you play that close, like let's say you want to play press, if Sullivan beats one of the receivers and that safety's not there, that's 6 all day.
But the defensive line for Vandegrift is very good,
yes,
and the safeties for Vandegrift are very good.
I agree.
So but if you get him a free release and you're backed up off you, if he catches that ball in a screen, he's breaking that tackle.
That's a huge game that both of y'all will be attending this Friday night.
Well, I think also interesting point about the Round Rock Dragons is they have more rushing yards than passing yards. When we talk about Seth Ford, you talk about Colin Sullivan, that those are their big stars, but they have 1,200 yards rushing and 988 yards passing. Now that might be due because they're a lot of the time they're blowing out their opponent and probably just running the football. But
I think they have one of the best offensive lines in the area as well.
They always do.
yeah, so with Israel Morgan, Jordan Smart, Jordan Smart's averaging 9 point, almost 10 yards a carry. So I think it's going to be fun to see how Coach Sanders approaches this Round Rock offense, because he's a defensive mastermind. So if Round Rock they like to jump out,
Yes.
they like to jump out and get on the board real quickly. So I'm going to be interested to see how Coach Sanders really just tries to, if he's going to attack or if he's going to sit back and let Round Rock do the little things, get maybe 2 or 3 yards rather than the big chunk plays.
Because you can't really play this like the cliche, like a title fight where they're feeling each other out for the first couple rounds. You can't do that because if you're kind of letting Round Rock do what they want to do, they're going to put up 14 points in a quarter.
Yeah. So you think it's you have to attack?
They're going to
Vandegrift
going to have to do something defensively to get Round Rock kind of out of sorts.
I think they're gonna. I think Vandegrift's defense is gonna test the ball carrying skills of all the Round Rock players, and they're just gonna be swiping at that ball to create those turnovers to give their offense more opportunity to score points.
And offensively, Vandegrift needs to sustain long drives.
Keep them off the field for sure.
All right. So rounding out Friday night, Lake Travis and Lehman, McCallum and Dripping Springs, Crockett and Seguin, and Travis at Navarro, formerly known as Lanier. Paul, where are you going to be at Friday night?
This Friday night, I'm going to be out in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to be heading southeast with my pops. We're going to do a road trip down to Flatonia, Texas. The number 8 Division 2, a 2A Division 2 Flatonia Bulldogs will be taking on their toughest district or non-district opponent this year in Weimar, and it's going to be a time. I got to talk a little bit with Coach Freytag out there, and he invited us out, gave us sideline access, full access to wherever we need to be. They're happy to have us out there, and they're excited. So shout out to the Flatonia Bulldogs. We will see you Friday night.
All right, make sure you get plenty of video and pictures and stuff.
We're going to get some content.
Yeah, that'll be fun, man. To go out to the small towns and catch a Friday night game out there, because when you're out there, the brightest lights are the stadium lights. So catch P-Rod out at Flatonia. All right. Let's wrap this thing up quickly. NFL. We'll talk a little bit more NFL Saturday.
Yeah.
But we did want to talk a little bit Cowboys, because they did get their first loss against the Saints, 12-10 on Sunday night. Paul, did you want to talk about that game, or did you want to talk about them playing the Packers with Zach this weekend?
I want to talk about Dallas playing. Let the past be the past. Let it go. So I want to talk about Dallas this coming Saturday against Daddy Aaron and the Packers.
All right, Zach, you're the Packers fan.
Yeah, I want the past. Let the past be the past.
Yeah.
Forget about that. Packers lost.
Des caught it.
Oh, so now we're not letting the past be past?
I know, right?
It's up to you, because if we're not letting the past be the past, I'll talk about that Saints game all day.
We'll talk about those 3 Super Bowls.
We talk about all the past games that the Packers been all up in the Cowboys every time they played. So we talk about that.
We're gonna have a good time.
We talk about y'all losing to the Drew Breesless Saints.
Hey, I talked about it. They're only down a quarterback. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the.
So what are we expecting Sunday? You're with Zach's Packers and mine and Paul's Cowboys.
Man, I'm gonna be realistic, unlike Paul is about to be after me. But the Packers have a struggling run defense, which is scary to say going up against the Cowboys, because that's what they need to do. If the Cowboys aren't running the ball, Dak's not any good. Mm-hmm. So if hopefully the Packers can channel their inner Drew Sanders and make some adjustments and turn this weak point into a strong point and really get after Zeke Elliott, knowing that if they shut him down, that Cowboys offense is non-existent. And I think they have the cornerbacks and the defensive backs to match up against Amari Cooper and Randall Cobb very well, which is also another matchup that I'm excited to see is Randall Cobb coming playing against his old team. Mm-hmm. But I offensively, I think the Packers have the upper hand, because you have to give it to Aaron Rodgers. Anytime Aaron Rodgers is going to make that offense be the favorite in a lot of the games that they play. But defensively, I'm a little worried.
For the people, I'm not going to be as verbose as Mr. Zach Lucero was. And I'm just going to do this because I know this man is not going to listen to anybody except Jerry Jones, Kellen Moore. Run the football. That's all I got to say.
So, I mean, and that's basically what Zach was saying. Like, you know, they got to run the football. Cowboys need to run the football. Keep running the football. And that's the thing that Paul and I were going back on the messenger during the game on Sunday night with the Cowboys game. It's just like, that's what I kept saying. Just keep running the football. Even if you're only getting 2 or 3 yards, just keep running the football. And, you know, you'll keep that other offense off the field. Not that there was a whole lot of points out there, but, you know, it keeps you on schedule. And I think what you don't want to do is make Dak Prescott win the game for you, because that's not how Dak is built.
But if you're the Cowboys, you can't forget about Aaron Jones, though.
Look, Zeke,
that's true.
Zeke needed rhythm. He wasn't in it. You got what you got. Take the L and move on.
Hey, y'all gonna be taking the L and moving on. And I'm ready for the best Mexican in the NFL, Blake Martinez, to have a big game.
Anyway, so
man, that dude's terrible.
What we gonna put on this game? We gonna make the wager now. We're gonna do it on Saturday.
He's bad.
He is not bad.
Yeah, he is.
Look, bro, don't get in your sus sentimientos. Okay, I said that horribly. I'm sorry.
He's not bad.
I'll bet you a Blake Martinez jersey.
About what?
On this game.
You ain't even paid the pluckers, bro.
But what are we betting for?
Straight up on the game. Your Cowboys, my Packers.
It's a toss. Dallas is a 3.5 point favorite.
Man, I ain't gonna get. No, I'm not betting on my Cowboys.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
No, I'm not gonna bet on them.
You know that's a home game for Dallas, right?
So
okay,
everybody in Texas, everybody has played there.
So if the Cowboys win,
it's a home game for Highland Park.
So if the Cowboys win, I get a Blake Martinez jersey.
You get a Cowboys jersey, whoever you want.
Why don't y'all bet for like a mini?
For real?
Yeah.
Like an official jersey?
Yeah.
Oh,
like the $80 ones, the expensive ones.
Let me think about that. I don't like wearing jerseys though.
I'm not a jersey guy either.
Let's think about it. Let's think. I might take you up on this, but I just think I don't want a jersey. I'll get you a Blake Martinez jersey, but let me think about that. Let me think about my side of this. All right, and before we wrap it up, I don't know. We'll talk about Texans on Saturday.
Fantasy football.
Yes, because I know Zach, you said that you got a trade.
All right, last week I was talking about trading Nick Chubb for Saquon Barkley. I want to apologize for that. Nick Chubb, you're the GOAT. Freddie Kitchens, thanks for listening to Paul and running the ball.
It's amazing what one game will do, right?
It's amazing what one game will do. But that being said, I really am not in my fantasy team. One of the leagues that I'm in, the league that I drafted, not Paul. I'm really not struggling in the running back category.
Yeah, because I drafted it. That's why.
So my running backs: Christian McCaffrey, Marlon Mack, Nick Chubb, Damian Williams, and then suspended Kareem Hunt and Jordan Howard. So I got running backs. So you were
ossified?
Yeah. I was ostracized. Christian McCaffrey and Mark Ingram. Christian McCaffrey for Mark Ingram and Alshon.
Alshon Jeffrey?
Yeah.
You get Christian McCaffrey?
I give Christian McCaffrey.
You give
What
Christian?
do your receivers look like?
My best receiver is Keenan Allen.
And who's your second receiver?
Keenan Allen, Tyler Lockett, Calvin Ridley.
You tell them to go kick rocks.
Yeah, nah, dude.
Tell them to go kick rocks.
What if I can turn Alshon Jeffrey to Mike Evans?
You can't.
But what if the dude has Mike Evans?
Okay, so tell him.
So Mark Ingram, Mike Evans for
do it 1-for-1.
Christian McCaffrey.
Do Christian McCaffrey, Mark Ingram, and what Chris said.
Yeah. So Christian McCaffrey for Mark Ingram and Mike Evans.
Yes.
I'd probably do that.
And then I just start Chubb and Mack from now on.
Well, yeah. Until Kareem Hunt's available when you play him as your flex.
Yeah. But that's a good trade? Do you think that's fair on both sides?
If he says yes.
Because I'm the commissioner of fairness in that league.
I would. I mean, I think it's fair, but I wouldn't get rid of Christian McCaffrey.
I wouldn't get rid of Mike Mike Evans.
If you were him?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So you think I would be getting off on the
I think
the better hand?
I think you get a better deal.
Is it a PPR league?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You get a better deal if he says
What about Chubb or Mack? What about Chubb straight up for Evans? Is that dumb?
I wouldn't do that. Because we don't know what Chubb can do. Like, he can be consistently that good because Baker's not proving anything.
And then he wouldn't take Marlon Mack straight up for.
No. He would trade Marlon Mack straight up for Mark Ingram, but Mack right now is kind of questionable, so you have to think about that.
Because I need a better receiver in this league. I'm a legitimate contender in this league.
If you can get something for Hill, like let's say you packaged Ty or not Ty, but Tyler Lockett and Mack, and you said, okay, give me Ingram and Evans, or give me.
I wouldn't do that.
I know, but I'm just saying some people just don't know.
Okay. Well, you can try. All right.
The first deal, Christian McCaffrey for Mark Ingram and Evans.
It was Mark Ingram. It was Mark Ingram and Alshon. I don't want that. I don't want Alshon.
You want Evans.
Yes.
If he says yes, I'd get rid of McCaffrey.
I wouldn't, but that's okay. All right. Just if that's what you want to do, we'll see what you do. Put that offer out there and let us know on Saturday what happens.
Why? Don't be scared.
Don't be
Making
scared,
offers is scary.
Dude, you want to know what I did this weekend?
No, because we don't have time to talk about all your 19 trades that you did.
Bro, I'm making moves.
All right, Recon Podcast, ReconAthlete.com. I want to thank Stoney McGuire, Lockhart Lions quarterback, LBJ Sean Fresh for joining the show today. Shout out to Zach Lucetto, Mr. Paul Rodriguez. We want to give a big shout out to Lawman ATX, and of course our new sponsor, Christ Market. Paul, do your thing.
Mama, I love you. Your birthday's on tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all are digging the podcast, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Don't forget to click that bell, and we gone.